Welcome everybody to another video. My name is ShadowSurfer, and this has probably been the longest amount of time I have gone without uploading on this channel. Now, trust me, it's for good reason, and no, the title is not clickbait. I pretty much almost died. Now this whole video is pretty much going to be an update or sort of story time of that whole situation. I'm going to explain everything that happened and why I've been gone for so long. So let's get right into it. So you guys may have seen the update I put on my Instagram. That was sort of a summarized version of it. This is going to be more of a detailed story of what happened. And it's also for the people who don't know what happened. I feel like it's important to inform you guys what actually happened and why I've been gone for so long. So not many people know this, but I actually have a second job. I work at a hardware store where I basically work outside all day, where I load cars with like pine straw and mulch in the parking lot. So it gets insanely hot and humid during the summer, especially in the southern United States. And the day the entire incident happened was July 4th, so we were insanely busy, so I was just going all day long, and I made the mistake of drinking only water. Now you don't only want to drink water when you're sweating so much outside in the heat, because it can be insanely dangerous for your body, and that's something I kind of glanced over. So what I should have been doing was drinking water along with like Gatorade or some sort of electrolyte to replace the fluid that I was sweating out, but I didn't do that. So I kept drinking water over and over again to keep cooling myself off even when I wasn't thirsty, and that ended up being my downfall. So by the end of my shift, I had this insanely bad headache, and my arms were literally cramping so bad that I had to forcefully like open them. It was really bad, and I was already in really bad shape by the end of my shift, but I still somehow ended up driving home anyways. So as soon as I get home, I have this overwhelming feeling that I definitely was about to pass out. Like if I closed my eyes, I definitely was going to completely fall over and probably die. So I got home, tried to cool myself off, made the mistake of eating 2 bananas insanely fast, which after being that exhausted and eating really fast, it wasn't good. I ended up throwing up about 10 pounds of my body weight in about 2 minutes, which to put that in perspective, I'm only like 145 pounds. So 10 pounds of my body weight, losing it that fast is very dangerous. So that wasn't the end of it. All of a sudden, I started losing feeling in literally my entire body. So I lost feeling in my legs first, and then literally I just started to not feel anything in my body. And I was slowly coming in and out of consciousness. But I was still there. But soon after is when I just completely checked out and I lost complete memory from that point on. So basically what happened was I got this illness called hyponatremia. It's basically an imbalance of sodium in your body, and I caused that because I was drinking so much water and still sweating so much and not replacing it with electrolytes and sodium that my sodium levels dropped to a dangerously low level. And sodium basically controls like all major muscle functions in your body. So when you lose that much sodium that fast, your body basically starts to shut down basically. So I ended up passing out, going completely unresponsive, like almost to the level of being completely brain dead. My sodium levels dropped so low that I was to the point of almost having seizures, which would have been probably fatal. My blood pressure dropped to dangerously low levels, like pretty much I was as close as you could have been to being dead, but I was still alive. So at this point, I already fell unconscious. I obviously don't have any memory from this point onward, but my parents called an ambulance. They straight up spinal tapped me in my driveway to check for meningitis, which if you know what that is, it's a pretty horrible thing. Thank God I wasn't conscious for that. The EMS straight up thought I was on some sort of drug like heroin or something, basically because I was completely unresponsive and they thought I did heroin or something. So apparently they started hooking me up to a bunch of IVs, giving me more fluids. And with hyponatremia, you have to be very careful with increasing your sodium levels, because you can't do it too fast or it will literally destroy your brain. So it had to be a very slow process. So I ended up being in a coma for nearly 20 hours. And that was definitely the scariest experience that has ever happened to me, like for sure. See, because I didn't even know I was in the hospital. I didn't know I was in an ambulance. I didn't know any of that. So I was very confused. And it was really it was really freaky because for some moments in the coma, I was conscious and I sort of knew in my subconscious that I was in a coma. And basically the way I could describe it was I felt like I was in a dark room, laying down, not being able to open my eyes, couldn't hear anything, and I just felt trapped. Like that's just what it felt like. Like I literally felt like I felt like I was dead. Like I literally thought I was dead. The brain is a crazy thing because, you know, there's stories of people who fall into comas and who are completely conscious the entire time through it and can hear everything. I obviously couldn't hear anything, like I said, but I definitely knew I was in it, and it was the scariest experience of my life. So eventually I wake up, and that's not even the end of it. When you wake up after being in a state like that where you're pretty much, you should have been dead, your body takes a hit, like a real hit. I was really messed up, like mentally. My brain just like I couldn't move my body, I couldn't talk right, I couldn't think straight, and not to mention I literally woke up pretty much completely blind. Like I literally could not see anything. It was so bad. And when you lose your vision like that, it's really scary because you literally don't even know if you're gonna get it back. Obviously it came back, but still it was pretty terrifying. So that entire first day I had to stay in the hospital, and I was still recovering from being in a coma for that long. So that entire day I was just completely out of it. I've never felt less like myself ever. But the next morning I woke up, I had my eyesight back. I obviously still wasn't completely there mentally, but I was getting better. And it was a good sign for me, and especially my family too, to see that I was making progress. I basically had to like relearn a lot of things. It's really weird. Your brain basically has to reactivate again, basically. So like walking was very difficult. Just even moving, like walking a few steps felt like literally a marathon, and I was completely exhausted after that. But eventually it got to the point where they finally sent me home, and now I'm here. So I'm obviously still recovering, and I'm making this video mainly to tell you guys that videos are going to be very inconsistent, at least for the next week and a half. I still have like short-term memory loss. My balance is still really bad, and sometimes I just wake up completely terrified, and it's really hard for me to sleep. So that's kind of what I'm struggling with right now. But all the doctors I talk to say it just takes time. So it still is really frustrating because one day you're completely normal, and then a few days after you wake up in the morning and you feel like a different person. Oh, I didn't even mention this either. So it's called hyponatremia encephalopathy. The encephalopathy part is basically brain swelling. When your sodium levels drop that fast, your cells in your brain just completely go haywire. And so my brain basically swelled, mostly in the frontal region, is what they told me. And it caused some cranial damage, so I have basically 24/7 headaches. And that's also why it's going to take a little longer for me to recover, because it's an actual brain injury. And so yeah, things just feel different. Like I tried to play Growtopia yesterday, and it made me so dizzy that I almost threw up, and it wasn't fun. So yeah, I'm gonna need some time off. Obviously, if I feel better, I'm gonna make videos for sure. But yeah, right now I just really want to thank you guys for all the support recently. The post on my Instagram straight up just flew to my most liked post ever, and the messages that I've been getting have been like absolutely insane. Like I knew I had a really good support system through this game especially, but I never knew to the extent, and this whole experience really showed me how great this community can be. So I really want to thank you guys for that, like truly. I have people talking to me that I haven't talked to in years, just good friends, people who I haven't even talked to before as well. wishing me well. So it really helps. And I just sort of want to reciprocate. If something ever happens to one of you guys, don't hesitate to let this community know, because they can be insanely supportive, and every kind word helps. I've read every single message that I've gotten, and it's been great. So truly thanks, for real. So yeah, that's about it. That's all for the story. I know it's pretty heavy. It's not something I expected to happen at all. But, you know, sometimes life just throws curveballs at you, and you gotta get through it. So I hope I can continue to be sort of an inspiration to you guys, that no matter what happens, there's always a way to push through it. And I hope I'm living, breathing proof of that, because I shouldn't be alive right now. So if you're going through something tough, keep pushing through it, because it'll always get better, trust me. And I'm gonna keep pushing every day to get better. It's gonna be a struggle some days, but you gotta get through those. So once again, thank you all for the support. I hope this serves as a good update video to you guys, to what happened. You know, I sort of left my Road to Turtle Leash series hanging, but I'm definitely still gonna finish the series and get the Turtle Leash, trust me. So yeah, hopefully we'll be back to regular videos, maybe in the next few days, but definitely maybe in a week. So yeah, hopefully you guys stay with me till then. And yeah, that's it. This is ShadowSurfer signing out. See ya!